Hey everyone, coming to you today, I want to talk to you about players, your player types. Historically, we've seen many different methods for identifying, let's say, prioritizing the people in your organization. This usually comes into play when you have to do a large cost cutting effort. And then, because labor is your number one cost, it becomes a necessary step to kind of cut out the bloat that might be within your organization. And we do that in various different ways. I think the most recent, most common used in the last 20, 30 years has been what we call stack ranking, where you kind of throughout the entire organization, if you have 100 people, then you have 100 lines in the sand and or in the paper, and you are literally stack ranking everybody against each other. The problem with that is these efforts end up becoming very subjective. And that is a horrible way to treat your people. This is a people leadership blog, if you want to call it that. So, because of that, or vlog, because of that, I want to dive into better ways. And the better way is objective measurements, objective results. So, with that, if you have a mechanism by which you can objectively drop 100 people in a very specific priority order, then more power to you. You've got it. That's kind of what we're driving to. But I think there's a better way to handle this or identify your people based on objectives. Now, later on, we're going to get into some very specific depth as to how to go about measuring. Remember, we're a values-based organization, and a values-based organization believes that values will drive behaviors, which will drive results. So if you're not getting the results you want, you don't force a behavioral change, although that could have an effect, right? But typically that also has a negative attitude effect. Whereas if you drive back to the values and your values are correct, you're going to instantly see a shift, a directional shift in the behaviors of your people. And then you will see the shift in your results. So with that being said, identify your player types as to whether or not they're A, B, or C. Like I said, we'll get into that more. We'll get into the how later, but I'll give you some high-level ideas. Your A player are your autonomous gurus who you can just tell them to go do a job, and they'll not only do the job, they'll do it better. They'll honor your values. They'll take care of you as an organization. They're the people that are the highest paid. They're getting the bonuses. They're doing all of these things because they earn it. Okay, merit-based system. I'll flip to the other side. The C players are those that aren't necessarily buying into your values. You can feel it in your bones as to how they approach things. You're reiterating your values on a consistent basis. I've talked about customer service in the past. Excellent service being a value. If when you have someone who's not honoring the excellent service mindset, right? When they are not just not living up to expectation, but when you would measure them below or even far below expectation. Those are your C players. Those are the people that you really kind of want to categorize as needing a PIP, a personal improvement plan, or needing competency building, which may be something you need to take responsibility for if that wasn't done properly. Or the other thing is you may need to let them go. And if you let them go, remember to love them on the way out as much as you love them on the way in. Take care of them. Now, we have a responsibility as an organization for a safe exit, meaning that sometimes some people won't leave appropriately, and you have to shut everything down, shut out the IT, shut them out from the organization, and let them move on. But that doesn't mean that you can't still help them find the right next opportunity for them. And there are third-party companies that will help you accomplish this, things like that. There are ways to accomplish this if you don't have the time or effort to be able to do it. But it's your responsibility as a leader to make sure that you take care of your people. And that's on the way out as much as on the way in. And it's not only on the way out as much as on the way in, because I've seen organizations do that too. They love you on the way in, they treat you like crap, and then they love you on the way out. That's not a good thing either, right? We're talking an end-to-end. Treat people because they are inherently valuable by being human. Nothing short of that. You want inclusiveness? There it is. Okay? They're human. And everybody includes an equal opportunity to accomplish what they need to for you and for themselves. Okay? Treat them right on the way out. But you do need to get rid of poison. You do need to get rid of bad attitudes. You do need to get rid of the C players who really are not supporting your organization. The B players, on the other hand, are your worker bees. They're the people that are everything you need to accomplish your tasks on a day-to-day basis. They're loyal. They're capable. They're getting the job done. They're not overwhelmingly above that. That's when you get into the A player. But they're accomplishing the task. You hire them to do a task, they're accomplishing that task, and they're maintaining good attitudes about it and things like that. Now, this group of people, you have to keep them motivated, okay? Now, I'll say it this way. You're on a hill. You're climbing that hill, and if you're not climbing, you're falling. There's no neutral, okay? Or should I say, there's effort just to remain neutral. If you're leaning, it's kind of like hiking, right? If you're leaning up, you have muscular effort going into the idea of staying in one place. And that's going to happen. You need to be celebrating. You need to be appreciating. You need to be loving on them. You need to be taking care of them. Because if you're not, they're falling backwards. And by falling backwards, what I mean is they are becoming disenfranchised. They are becoming demotivated. You've got to keep moving that forward. You've got to keep celebrating them. You've got to keep motivating them. You've got to keep doing things. Standing still is no such thing, and if it is, it's effort to keep it there. Okay, so you as the leader need to be providing effort to make people or to keep people where they are, and to grow them and to keep them moving. And growing them is building competencies, growing competencies, expanding, cross-pollination, all of those things that you can be doing in your organization. So with that, you have the three players, the A, B, and the C. You need to be letting the A's go or putting them on performance improvement plans to get them to a B, right? Preferably the latter, but sometimes you just got to let them go. And then the A's promote, encourage, grow, promote, right? And then those B's, just keep working them, growing them, keep getting those expectations to be better, above. And because when they become above expectation and all of your values, you're all of a sudden at a scenario where they become an A player in that particular level, and you promote them. And then you go on from there, and it becomes a cycle, and you're constantly growing your organization. I mean, imagine an organization where you were dropping out the bottom 10% or 5% or whatever percentage you want to do, where you were dropping that out, but you were also at the same time growing the upper 5 to 10%. What that means inherently is that your organization as a whole is growing. It's growing. It's constantly getting better. Your expectations are growing, and people are meeting those expectations. So where you are today, measuring expectation, should not be where you are in a year. Those expectations should be growing for your people, and they should be meeting those expectations. So with that said, I just kind of want to talk about the player types, how to approach it if you end up having to deal with cost cutting or whatever it is. It's always good to know exactly where your players are. And hey, if you're doing this on a monthly basis anyways, you should know, and you should be releasing the C's, growing and promoting the A's, and driving incremental growth with your bees at all times. All right. So with that said, I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.